Yeah, good morning, good evening, and thank you all for joining us. Good evening, and thank you all for staying up late with us. I'm Shayna Waltower. I watched Larry Yockey's neighbors take care of 1,200 acres yesterday. It was a wild day in sports around the region, but perhaps the moment that brought the most fanfare wasn't even on the field. I'm always scared to carry an umbrella when it's raining and storming outside.
Well, you're little.
I know, I keep getting blown away. I wish I could streak like that with a lot of other stuff. Working out, cooking consistently, that's a lot. We were sitting in here, Michelle's like, who is that yelling in the newsroom? We're like, they're watching the game.
Yeah.
Well, Karthik Venkatraman joins us now to shimmy down with sports on this Saturday. I was down today at HoopFest headquarters today talking about all the upcoming excitement for this weekend. Well, it's been a beautiful weekend around the inland Northwest, but now 90-degree temperatures will be returning. Healthy eating is good for us all, right? Well, that's been proven true. Here I have an apple and a hamburger. One teen is making the most of what's left of his summer. He organized a fundraiser to benefit local charities. Workers were reportedly told they had to choose between attending the speech, staying at home, and using paid time off, or even not getting paid at all for the day. Yeah, we're here for the International Women's Day March. Get down here, check in, grab your orange bag, and snag one of these really cool shirts. That includes your plastics. But the city says it's having a hard time recycling some of these materials. So I looked into what exactly happens to them after they leave your curbside. We've got some new additions coming to the classroom. They're all designed to help students have smooth transitions from grade to grade and then even into life after school. Now with some recent discussion from Spokane County representatives, GoPros about this size could start to appear in some snow plows. A lot of this road is covered in some snow, drifting snow with all the wind that's blowing. A lot of places you can barely tell how deep it is. Right above my shoulder, there's still a bit more smoke. Crews have gotten a bit more of a handle on the fire. Right behind me, you can see some of the police cars that have been responding to the scene. They arrived here at about 4 o'clock this morning. Fire crews say their biggest issue with these flames was the wind and just the type of area that this land is sitting on. They say they're hoping to have just as many crews tonight as they did this morning and earlier today. It was almost a 4-hour drive for Brian Loki and his wife from Chesaw to Spokane. Brian says the whole time they were on the road, the anticipation was just building up. They finally arrived at the airport, and then that's when the nerves really set in.
Really nervous because this is a daughter I've never met.
It's been more than 7 months since a woman named Amanda Farrell sent Brian a letter saying she's his daughter. But since then, they've been communicating often and planning their first meeting. And now she's just arrived at the Spokane airport.
It just reminded me when my other children were born, waiting in that waiting room.
Now finally, that waiting is over.
It's been surreal. It was an absolute surprise to get a letter saying, "I think you're my dad," to here they are.
Now here we are, and I traveled all the way from California to come visit and meet my dad for the first time. Oh my goodness, I love your necklace.
It's the answers to many years' worth of questions.
Oh, my heart was pounding. I think even the ladies in the bathroom were like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm good, I think I'm okay."
And just the beginning of a new bond.
How much I look like him, the curly hair and my nose, my eyes, stuff that I haven't seen from my mother's side of the family.
Amanda brought her youngest child, Emma, with her so she could meet her grandfather.
You know what, that's really amazing. I've always wanted my kids to have every grandparent in their life, and so not knowing who my biological father was, I never got a chance to show her that family line. So now she'll get to grow up with him and learn how to make drums and stuff that he makes. He does crafts, and it's pretty cool.
What started out as a letter is now unfolding into a long-awaited family story. Wow. Now, Amanda is staying until Friday. Between now and then, she and her father will be going to a barbecue for the 4th of July, where she'll meet her biological grandmother. But tomorrow, they're going on their first father-daughter dance at the Chesaw Rodeo. From struggle to separation and now to celebration, this family has been through a lot, which made for an even more cherished reunion.
I just want to cry. 2014-15, that was
hard life I was ever have. I would never forget it.
Those were the first 2 years after Noha Adams' move to the U.S. The journey started when the family was fleeing South Sudan. At the time, her son Fadel had a worsening heart condition, so they went to Egypt for medical care.
His doctor did the surgery and said, I will better give you documentation to go to a better place. He can finish his health.
And that's when she began the 1.5-year process of moving to the U.S.
I did what I can do for my kids.
Because of Fadel's medical condition, Noha and her other children received an expedited documenting process. But she says her husband's could have taken up to 10 years. That left a wife leaving her husband and children leaving their father.
They went with me with this, a lot of struggling. It is hard.
And at the time, Noha was 8 months pregnant. They moved to Spokane through the World Relief Program. 1 year became 2, 2 became 3, and still with a part of their family across the world.
It is like I go home, do you know my pillow? I make it full with the crying, it's wet. Because the first year, 2014, I am crying and I'm just moving.
And navigating in a new area.
Which is hard. So we were just hoping.
And learning, all while still trying to provide for her children. And in the midst of her working and still tending to her son's medical needs, one day she got the news she'd been waiting to hear. Her husband Wardy's papers had been cleared and he was on his flight to the U.S. And in what was a long-awaited reunion, he felt the arms of his wife and children around him, meeting his youngest son for the first time.
Like you have been carrying like a mountain. You know how it's too heavy. Like you're carrying something very heavy, and my emotion is like somebody doesn't know even.
A moment of joy they, of course, will never forget. Now, all through this interview, the family thanked the World Relief Organization of Spokane. Noha, the mother, said they gave all the support that she needed while her husband was gone. The family says they're now looking forward to a good soccer game, which the two sons say they're probably hoping to beat their father at. So just all around a very heartwarming reunion for that family.